Welcome, gang, to another episode of Buy and Hold. I'm your host, Thick Teddy, and today's going to be a little shorter video, a bit more concise and to the point. Today's about Costco. And before we get into it, I want to say thank you all for tuning into these videos. I love making them. They're one of the highlights of my week because I'm a big fundamental swing, financials guy. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and also drop a comment of what you want to see me do a buy and hold video on, particularly a ticker or two that you want to see compared, that sort of thing. Today's about Costco. Let's get into this chart, and then as usual, we'll move into the financials, we'll move into earnings, we'll move into business model, we'll move into competitors, and then I will give you kind of my concise opinion at the end. So this is the weekly chart, guys, and you can see that we're having a pretty clear pennant forming. This top trend line began on April 4th of 2022 when this green candle topped, and then we got another top and touch of that trend line on the week of August 15th. And then we recently got a touch and rejection 2 weeks ago, which would be the 21st of November that week. And the bottom side, you can see the first bottom began on the 16th of May. The second bottom began on the 10th of October. And then we're seeing possibly another one forming as we speak. Could this extend to back here? Oh, not quite, but close enough. But you guys can see this is just a very clear pennant. And I like to explain to my mentorees a pennant is essentially a 50-50 shot each direction. There's small cues you can take to determine which side might break out. You can determine based on EMAs near it, volume profile, volume at the bottom side. You can determine a lot of things. But for the most part, you're going to get about 50% of the time, give or take, and 50% of the time, give or take, that go bull versus bear. So for me, this just seems like a move is incoming, and it's going to be a big move. And for me, it feels like when we compare the markets, as in, SPY, the S&P 500, tech markets, that sort of thing, it feels like it might be downside. And you can see on the VPVR the volume that we do not have in this area from about 450 all the way down to 390. And I think the reason for that is a bit of these these large candle bodies here. They don't have the volume necessary to basically create a high volume node. It's a large candle. The volume's a bit more spread out on these two candles. And then here it was pretty much just bull run galore. So there wasn't much volume against the bulls. So therefore you have a bit of a volume lack in that area. So from about 450 to about 390, which is also I believe, yeah, this is one of the highs from late 2020 is the 390 level is where that comes from. And it's pretty clear to see on this weekly because there's high volume up here where we're at right now, high volume below 390, but then in between 450 and 390, very, very low volume. So if this cracks to the downside, I would not be surprised to see that 390 level. If it cracks to the upside, then it's probably all-time high, and it's not really up for debate, in my opinion, because we're very close to all-time high. The top of this, if we broke the top of this, we'd have to be at 550 almost, and all-time high is 600. And I would think that we would get that big of a move on a pennant break this important on a weekly. Considering on this weekly, I'm expecting this thing to go from 475 all the way to 390 if a downside move were to occur. Which, if I'm mentioning that as of right now, that also lines up with the 200 MA. So for me, this looks a bit bearish, and it looks like there's a large opportunity for this to see 400. And I think that would be a great buy zone. I would probably be loading the boat at 400. So keep that on your radar. Costco, $400, set a price alert for 420, that sort of thing. 420. I don't know why that makes me laugh, even though I'm an adult. But regardless, set a price alert for maybe 420. Watch it, let it, come down to the price that we want it to be at. Don't panic buy if you end up liking it at the end of this video. Let's move to the financials. So this is Costco, this is the FinViz chart, but we already broke it down. Oh, it actually has the pennant as well. Just a little bit. Look at that. FinViz agrees with us. All right, so the market cap of Costco is 220 billion, sales 226 billion, income right below 6 billion. So market cap to sales ratio is very, very nice, which is also P to S ratio, if you guys weren't aware of that. Income, I know we could work a little bit on that, Costco. We could work a bit on the income and the margins. You can see over here, the margins, they're not bad, but they're not good either. Like, they're not margins that jump off the page to me, as in these are margins that make me want to buy this company. These are margins that make me want to invest in this company. It's just okay. Cash per share is $24. Not bad considering how many shares they have. They could do a decent amount with that, but a lot of that's probably going to be used for surviving the possible market downturn we're facing right now as we speak, and the recession we're in. Dividend, they offer a dividend, small percentage, but still a dividend. Book per share is 46.50. On these companies with this sort of a profile, book per share is a bit wonky. Book per share is really big for me if I'm trading something that is a smaller price point is what I'll go with there. A smaller price point, then I'll look towards book per share a bit more. But with these large mega companies, book per share is not really the thing I'm looking towards. What I am looking towards is the PE ratio, PS ratio, and then these quick ratios, debt to equity ratio, that sort of thing down here. So let's start with PE ratio, 37. It's a bit high. It's a bit high for me. I'm not going to lie. It's a bit high, and I think we have some room for it to come down. Let's just switch over to Walmart really quickly and just see what the PE ratio of that is. 46. So you guys can see that this kind of sector, the sector leaders of Costco and Walmart, they're a little bit high on those PE ratios, and Costco is actually sitting below Walmart, which is pretty big. And that makes it, in my opinion, a little bit easier to feel good about investing in Costco over Walmart. We're going to talk about Sam's Club versus Costco in the future in this video, which is basically Walmart versus Costco, because they're both kind of like the warehouse wholesale leaders of that area. Costco being one, Sam's Club being one, and Sam's Club is a subsidy of Walmart. So PE ratio a bit high. Forward PE ratio still a bit high. PS ratio is very nice. I really like the PS ratio, but without the PE ratio being low, then PS ratio, how much validity does that have? Quick ratio, current ratio, debt to equity ratio, LT debt equity ratio, all just average, similar to margins. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's a company. It's going to do fine. They're not going to fail. These numbers aren't, giving me, the sort of a vibe that, I need to be worried about this. Like, when we did a forward video, there was quite a bit of debt to equity ratio was a bit high, and it gave a little bit of a red flag. But here, these aren't red flags and these aren't green flags. You can see EPS is growing. It's growing steadily, and as even though these numbers are not green, which I know a lot of people will do their analysis as in they want the numbers to be green on these FinViz charts. For me, these numbers are good. I like these numbers. Costco's been around for a very long time, and Costco is still growing their EPS pretty consistently, and I will take any growth that I can get right now. This is nice. Insiders recently decreased their position, but only by 1%. Institutions own 70%. They just increased very, very slightly. So not much movement there in the large money ownership side of things. Target price is nice. It's 563 on average, which is, that's a decent 15% price increase from where we are right now. I think that covers most of these the numbers that I wanted to go through on this FinViz. The next thing I have here is their earnings history, and this is going to be a big point for me here. This is going to be something that I'm going to basically structure my overall Costco argument around. So you guys can see, starting in quarter 3 of 2019, they've been steadily increasing. Obviously, they're not going to quarter over quarter have a better EPS every single quarter. Like, they couldn't, just have a flat line up. Well, they could, but it's unlikely that a company can do that. But you guys can see that in the past 2 years, they started with 173 and then 210, which is in a pretty similar zone. And then now we're seeing 420, 317. So we're seeing a very, very large increase in EPS. And they're beating estimates pretty handily most of the time. But here's where things get a little bit interesting. The past 2 years running, Costco has missed earnings quarter four, and also seen an overall dip in EPS quarter three through quarter four after a large quarter two. And what did we see this quarter two? All-time high of their EPS. They hit 420. 420 popping up again. That's 2 times in this video, guys. So their EPS hit an all-time high at 420. And what are we leading into? We're leading into a quarter three and quarter four. Estimates are up. I'm going to let that one sink in. Estimates are up for quarter three, quarter four. What did we see in 2020? Estimates were up going into quarter four. What did we see in 2021? Estimates were up going into quarter four. What are we seeing in quarter four of 2022? Estimates are up. People are expecting them to do well. And what have they done 2 years running? Not well, missed estimates. And what are we expecting the market to do? Downturn. What are we expecting Costco to do? Possibly touch this zone, this low volume zone on the VPVR. Is it all lining up to you guys now? I'm expecting within quarter three and quarter four them to have one of 2 earnings misses. I don't think they'll miss both. I think they miss one. I'm not sure which one it is. Well, let's just go see when this is. Let's go to daily. Oh my gosh. It's on Thursday. It's 2 days away from now. I didn't know that. Yeah, so watch this on Thursday, guys. Watch this earnings report on Thursday. If they miss, they're going to break this pennant, and we're going to see 400, or at least 420, like I was talking earlier. It's just kind of just how things work, I'm very, very confident in that. It's just how things work, in my opinion. Technically and fundamentals are both lining up here. And if they say they beat this earnings, then wait for quarter four. And when quarter four rolls around, I think they have a chance of missing. And if they miss, what are we going to see? 420 or 400. Technicals and fundamentals are lining up in this position. And I think that there's a possible short opportunity here. If you guys wanted to, before investing in your long-term account, for reasons that we're about to go through as well, because I do think this is a great long-term stock, just not at this second. I think that there's a very, very large technical opportunity for downside to 400, sub 420 for sure, sub 400 likely. If I had to give a direct bottoming time, I would say that 390 level is a great bottoming zone. But like I said, wait for that earnings report to come in 2 days from now or next quarter. Watch the thing die and then go long. If you guys like this last portion of the video we're about to get into. But I do got to get going. I did say I was going to try to keep this video quick. So Costco revenue over time. You guys can see per year, they've been increasing in revenue every single year. It's really big for them, I think, personally. That's something that I love to see in a company, and you guys can just see how this curve is just increasing, just curving up to the upside. This is their business model canvas. I was really interested in this because I wanted to see what it was. And if you guys want to pause the video and read this, you guys can. I don't have time quite in this video to go fully over it. We all know Costco is kind of, they have a very, very set business plan that's different than a lot of other wholesale stores. So check this out, look at it, look at their revenue streams and their cost structure in particular. And also we can just talk for 1 second. Costco, they are probably one of the best customer service companies, from their sector. I think they're much better than Walmart and all of Walmart's little pieces of their business. I think Costco does something that a lot of companies don't do, and that is they get people in the door by keeping prices low. They give you guys that membership, you pay for the membership. They keep prices lower. They take losses on certain products to keep the overall prices lower. I think that's something that they're going to get paid for long term. And I mean, we can go down to the revenue. They are getting paid for that. They are getting paid for that. They value their customers keeping in their business, keeping in their doors open with lower prices. They value having people basically talk about them and be like, Costco has lower prices. Costco, this is, we've saved so much money this month. We saved so much money last year. Like, you can try our membership out, blah, 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 word of mouth. They value their customers having a great experience and passing the word on. And I think that's fucking fantastic because I don't hear anyone saying that about Walmart. I don't see anyone saying, hey, dude, you got to go to Walmart, bro. I have not heard that ever. But I've heard about 50 people because I'm getting to that age. When you turn 23, 25, people are like, dude, have you gotten your Costco membership yet? This shit is amazing. That's just, the adult thing. I think the progression of adults is Costco, bro, Costco. And so I've heard it about 15 times in the past year about, do you have a Costco membership? Do you like Costco? Costco. And so I'm just saying they're kind of like the Chick-fil-A of like wholesale stores and blah, 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 grocery store sort of thing. They're the Chick-fil-A. Everyone's like, everyone's so nice there. Everyone loves you. Blah, blah, blah. They'll help you with whatever. They're so nice. Like all this stuff. Their hot dogs are $1.50 still. All that stuff. People love Costco. People love Costco. That's a big thing. That's one of the biggest reasons why I think it's going to be a good investment once it has this downside that I think is necessary. All right, Costco versus Sam's Club. We're going to read through some of these key differences. So Costco's membership fees are more expensive than Sam's Club. Sam's Club offers more name brand products. Costco stocks more private brands and organic foods. In terms of location, Costco has greater international presence and Sam's Club has a better U.S. presence. For now, Costco is comfortably beating Sam's Club in the sales category, generating about 3 times the amount in revenues. And also Costco has larger stores. And also the other thing too is Costco appears to be growing faster from a store count and revenue perspective. Sam's Club closed several stores a couple years ago, and Costco has been a steady run of store count increasing, so opening new stores. That's big, guys. That kind of gives you the edge that Costco is beating Sam's Club from an overall business perspective. They're opening more stores, and they are increasing the gap of revenue between Costco and Sam's Club. What does that lead to? If you just think about that for a second, that leads to one of them likely taking over a larger market share as the years go on, and then one of them eventually getting beat out into nothing. I'm not saying that's going to happen soon. I'm not saying that's going to happen within the next 15 years. It's very unlikely. But eventually, there's a chance that Costco just increases this gap long enough to where we end up with just a Dolls situation where it just ends up closing all the stores. Sam's Club, they might not be able to compete any longer. If Costco's hot dog is $1.50 in 5 years, I don't think Sam's Club is going to be able to compete. I'm just saying, if they can keep that hot dog price that low for that many years, then Sam's Club is overall fucked. There was one other thing I wanted to go over quickly here. I can't really find it. Okay, key takeaways. Costco and Sam's Club have very similar business models. That's not what we need to see. Costco's membership fees are more expensive, but its prices are slightly lower, thanks in part to its private branded products such as Kirkland. That's the biggest thing for me is those prices are lower, and I think that should be the selling fact for Costco here. So let's just go in summary here of this entire video. Costco has a pennant. It's likely to break to the downside if they have a bad earnings. They have an earnings on Thursday, and they also have a Q4 earnings. I think they're going to miss one of them based on what? Based on this trend that we're seeing. They miss a Q3 or Q4 earnings. The past 2 years they have missed. They missed it in 2019 as well. So they have missed the past 3 years a Q4 earnings or Q3. And I think it's going to happen again. And what are we going to see? We're going to see it break this pennant, which will send it to 420 at the minimum. And I think that we will see probably a bit lower than 420. And I think that is the buy zone. If you choose to go short through that, you choose to go short. If you choose to just sit waiting with cash and then deploy your cash around 420 and lower, you choose to do that. But my opinion is Costco is better than Sam's Club, and it is a better stock, to buy long term than Walmart WMT. I like it. I like Costco. I like its business model. That's it. I like it down by 400 though. That's the big key of this video. Down by 400. I like Costco. Thank you guys for tuning in again. Drop a like, drop a subscribe, drop a comment. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you very much and have a great week.